What's good, everybody? It's Super Bowl 59 time with my guy Five Star. And damn, it felt kind of weird to take that week off and not talking no football, but we're not gonna have football for a long time after this game. So we had to get used to it. We will, like you said, talk some college basketball coming up. But what's good with you, Five Star? Good to have you back on the show.
Always great to be back. What's up to the chat? Glad to be back with you guys. We've had a whole season, man, and now we're at the culmination where it's all what we've been betting all year comes to a head, and we take all the information and all the data that we learned and try to make a sound bet right here. And guys, just a quick something I give out to everyone. I've been doing this a long time. Me and Skee have been doing this for many years. Do not allow the Super Bowl to trap you into betting money you don't have. That's part of
Yeah.
what they do with all the media stuff. If you're on this chat, you most likely like us and you bet every day anyway. So if you bet any day, every day anyway, why would you go bet? You normally bet 5% a day, and now today you're betting 50% because it's the Super Bowl. Don't buy into the
Hmm.
hype because now all of the work that you've done during the regular season, building up your bankroll, can suffer just by you making one bad play. So don't allow them to get you in the hype. Bet the Super Bowl, but don't go crazy. It's no different than any other game.
Yeah, I had to learn that lesson too. I learned that lesson a long, long time ago. Long,
You got caught in the hype, huh?
what was it? The Patriots. I think it was Patriots versus, was it Eagles?
Seahawks.
No, Seahawks. Yeah,
Seahawks.
Patriots versus Seahawks. Yeah,
Yeah.
I learned that lesson on that one
Yeah.
for sure. But good advice. So we got one game to talk about. We'll break it down as best as we can. And that one game, Chiefs and Eagles. Uh, I mean, we've seen movement. It opened Chiefs -1.5. It moved up, moved down. Right now, we see one pretty much everywhere, and the total is sitting right where it opened at 48.5. I gotta say, that Eagles team has looked really, really good so far.
Mm-hmm.
They put up I think it was 55 points that they just put up in this last week. This Eagles
Mm-hmm.
team, for the most part, everybody has been to the Super Bowl already. They played this same Chiefs team, so they have some experience. In years past, Five Star, the weakness of the Chiefs defense was the run. Do you still see them, being a little bit soft against the run? Do you think Saquon will have his way? How are you viewing that aspect of the game?
No, that's just another way for people in the media to try to figure out ways to poke a hole in the Chiefs because the Chiefs are so good. Just like anything, when it's successful for so long, people are going to start hating. And this myth that the Chiefs are bad against the run, I don't know where it came from or why, especially with the fact that they haven't given up 100 yards to any running back this season during the whole season. In fact, the Chiefs have not allowed a postseason running back to eclipse 100 yards since 2018, Sony Michel in the playoffs. And guess what? Steve Spagnuolo was not the DC. Since Steve Spagnuolo's been the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs, they have not allowed 100 yards in the playoffs to any single running back. The highest has been 89 yards, which came from Leonard Fournette in that Tampa Bay Buccaneers Super Bowl they lost to Brady. And that was because, of course, now that Tampa Bay had the early lead and Kansas City couldn't do much, they kind of ran Fournette and got him some carries, but he only had 89 yards still. Joe Mixon from my Texans came close this year. He had 88 yards in a really good offensive game by them. And then you had James Cook go for 85 yards in the AFC Championship a couple weeks ago. 2019 AFC title game, the baddest man on the planet was Derrick Henry. They held him to 19 carries for 69 yards. Christian McCaffrey was the rushing leader last year, much like Saquon is this year. 80 yards on 20 carries last year. They only give up 4 yards per carry. People are really buying into the Saquon Barkley stuff. Me, I'm fading them, and I'm fading the overreaction from the public. I'm going under 114.5. Now it's down to 112.5. When I called it was under 114.5 rushing yards. Saquon, in his last 6 games, faced 4 of the worst rush defenses in all the NFL. Washington was ahead of schedule, rookie quarterback with not much else. Their defense was terrible, and they've been the worst against the run all year. So the way he made those guys look is going to make it where that number's a little bit inflated on what Saquon could do. But what I do know is my data shows me that the Chiefs have always been really good against the run, and under Spagnuolo, they've been special against the run, as he has not allowed a 100-yard running back to reach 100 yards rushing, in the playoffs since he's been their coordinator since 2019. He's a guy that's going to take away your number one option. The reason James Cook even had 85 yards is because they were game planning towards Josh Allen. They weren't game planning towards James Cook. They're going to game plan towards Saquon Barkley, and I don't think he reaches 100 yards. If you guys have the prop under 100 yards, it's plus 180 on certain sites if you have that type of app. I know different states have different rules. Like here, you can catch it at STN, you can catch it at Boyd. You can't catch it everywhere, but it's kind of like the prize picks thing where you're betting that they go under the amount at 100 yards, and you're going to get plus 180 because it's minus 220 for him to go over 100 yards. So I do think the Chiefs hold Saquon to under 100 yards, and I think it's a myth that they're not a good run defense. Another thing to consider, Saquon Barkley, 3 times this year he went against a top 10 run defense. He didn't eclipse 100 yards either of those times.
And that's some good info right there. I definitely wrote it down on my short list. Um, Let me ask a little bit about these quarterbacks. I mean, both of these quarterbacks have experience in the Super Bowl versus each other. Mahomes a little bit more experienced than Hurts. And both of these quarterbacks lately have been doing a really good job taking care of the ball. Is this a situation
Yeah.
where we might not see, too many passing turnovers? Like, do we look at no interceptions? I think there was a 1.5 for total interceptions line on the game. How do you feel about both quarterbacks in that
Yeah.
regard?
Yeah, they both protected the ball really well. The Chiefs haven't had a turnover, I think, in 9 games or something like that. Eagles are right up there with them. So if I'm gonna lean either way on that, I'm gonna say that they don't turn over the ball. We know that Patrick Mahomes just is a master. He's mastered the game. So it's rare that defensive coordinators can trick him, especially Vic Fangio, who hasn't had a lot of success against Patrick Mahomes. He's 0-8. He has never beaten Mahomes, whether he was the head coach or the defensive coordinator. So we definitely think that Patrick Mahomes will protect the ball. Can he have a turnover? The Eagles are opportunistic. They tip some balls. We know what type of defensive line they have, so things can happen. I won't be playing that, but I would definitely lean with you on that one to no turnovers in the game. But what I will be loading up on is Patrick Mahomes going over 29 and a half yards rushing, man. I think that that's pretty much a give me. He's had 38 yards and 44 yards the last 2 times that he's faced the Eagles running the ball. When it's do or die, especially in the playoffs, Mahomes tends to tuck the ball more, and I think that he will. Also, Patrick Mahomes will have his longest rush over 12 and a half yards. He's covered that number in both playoff games this year, and in his last 4 games, he's also eclipsed the longest run being over 13 yards or over 12 and a half yards. And 3 or 4 Super Bowl appearances, he's also had a run over 12 and a half yards. He had a 22-yard run last year against the Niners and a 26-yard run the previous year against the Eagles. So I'll be leaning more to that. But on your question, yeah, for sure, I would definitely say no turnovers because these teams both protect the ball.
What was that number for the rush yards?
The 29 and a half total rush yards and over 12 and a half for the longest rush.
Yeah, I do feel like I don't know why I feel like that's kind of low, but I could absolutely see him getting out and he gonna go get it, man. And if you need,
Yeah.
a first, he gonna go get it. So can't argue against that. Um,
Well, you know what they
so
do. Another thing, Skee, is they kind of like disregard the type of athlete that Mahomes is because he's so good. He kind of plays from the pocket and he has high IQ, does a lot of reads from the line. So you don't always, take, in account of how fast and how good he is athletically. But I'll put it like this. This is how good an athlete Mahomes is. He could have easily been a starting shooting guard in the NBA. He could have been a starting pitcher in baseball in the MLB, and he could have been a pro golfer. So he's pretty good athletically.
what would you say to my guy Sab right here when he's saying this comment? He says Chiefs gave up 147 on the
Okay.
ground in Houston and 149 to Buffalo. Was that Josh Allen running the ball? Was that C.J. Stroud or?
No, that's total yards, buddy. That's total yards, buddy. That's not to a running back. I said they have not allowed 100 yards to a runner, a running back, not team totals, quarterback scrambling and things like that.
I got you. Appreciate you guys in the chat as well, for the kind words y'all saying. They loving you 5 star and they giving me some love as well. So appreciate y'all. Dante says got to be
Yes,
careful with
sir.
those nails at the end. That could be a reason to look at the longest rush. Could absolutely be a reason. Um, so I gotta ask you something about the total here. I feel like if the I feel like the Chiefs will be able to score regardless. And
Hmm.
I feel like the Eagles can score too. I mean, I almost feel like 48.5 is too low. But at the same time, Super Bowl, and this is just, I don't have numbers to back this up. It's just my thought. I feel like the games start off slow. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
is it one where we maybe live bet the over? Maybe we go like they have those props first 6 minutes, no score, maybe a first quarter under or something like that. Do you have those same thoughts? Oh no, he's frozen now. There we go. You there?
Hold on, Skee. 1 second. I changed something. Yeah, I'm here. Hold on 1 second, buddy. My bad. I forgot to hit the do not disturb. Someone just called me. I'm sorry, bro.
Oh, it's
Let
all
me put the
good.
do not disturb. What did you say? Say it one time.
Do you think like a lot of times we see Super Bowls, or at least I think we see Super Bowls start off a little bit slower. So is it one where we would maybe lie bet the over? Like, do we look at a first 6 minutes no score, first quarter under? Like, do you agree that the Super Bowls start off slow?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I definitely do. Ski. I always bet the under. The first quarter in the Super Bowl is the fastest quarter in football. I don't know why. It always goes by so fast, bro. Like, usually the 10 points is really hard to get because if you have one extended drive out the first team and then they get to maybe midfield and punt or get in field goal range, that eats up about half of the clock right there, So you have a quick three and out and they punt, then the other team isn't usually starting with good field position. So it's always a good bet to me to do the under on the first quarter, just because jitters and things like that. This is the game that the whole world is watching. So I always factor it in. I never want to go over on the first quarter on the total.
All right, I agree with that. So first quarter under will also be on my short list. Um, all right, we got one more thing to talk about, at least from what I'm looking at here, and that's who's gonna win this game. And for you people who watch all the time, I mean, do the right thing, man. You should know by now what the right thing is. I don't think I gotta keep saying it over and over again. Like, how many times did it gotta go show you, man? Like, don't be fooled because it looks so easy when they playing a rookie and putting up 50 points and like, come on, man. You know what time it is for this game. Do the right thing, make that money. 5 star. Eh, am I telling the people wrong?
You never tell them wrong. One of our first things that we talked about betting football when you and I first met was about don't bet against Mahomes, don't bet against Brady. Not in these type of situations. Now it's only one left, and that's Mahomes. We've seen Patrick Mahomes. Let's just think about this. It's a perfect storm for guys like us, Ski, because the hate for Patrick Mahomes is so great and so real that they're setting it up perfect for us to just have a great steal with Vegas. No one's considering that the first Super Bowl Patrick Mahomes won, they were the 29th ranked defense. He was in shootouts and having to score 30, 40 points a game. He won like that. Then he comes back. They take Tyreek Hill from him. He has no receivers, all young guys out there as rookies, and cater to the defense. And in that year, they won the Super Bowl. And Mahomes broke the passing record that year with no Tyreek Hill just to show people that he didn't need him. He had the most single season passing yards that year. Okay. Now he's gone to a stage now where multiple MVPs, multiple Super Bowls, multiple Super Bowl MVPs. In the regular season, I'm just trying to get through this damn game and get home to my kids safe and we win again. He's not trying to cover. He don't care about none of that. He's mastered the game. Him and Andy Reid, we're going to try a couple things during the regular season. We're going to do what we need to do to get it done. And even with that, people are still saying that they're not good. Now, they have 2 straight Super Bowls, Skee. They've won back-to-back Super Bowls. They had the best record in the league this year. I'm on the radio this morning with Lance Zierlein. He works for the NFL Network the last 20 years, one of the most connected scout guys in all the world. He's A+ at football. His dad was an offensive line coach, all these things. And I was on there arguing with Lance because he's telling me that the Chiefs weren't the best football team this year in the NFL. And I'm like, what happened to it being about wins and losses? How weren't they when they won the hardest conference? They had home field advantage and they had the best record. The AFC is a much tougher gauntlet than the NFC. Bro, look who the Eagles play in their division. They play the Cowboys and the Giants and the Commanders, bro. The only team that they would have had a really tough team, the team that would have beat them this year if they would have been fully healthy would have been the Lions. The Lions were the best team in the NFC. They had injuries at the wrong time of the year. Now let's get to these. Let's go through some of these stats now, because since they want stats to back it too, let's do that. Mahomes is 11-0 in domes, 26 touchdowns, 2 interceptions in domes. The number 1 seed in the Super Bowl is 10-0 in the Super Bowl against non-number 1 seeds who didn't have a bye. In 4 previous second-time quarterback matchups, the winner of the first game was 4-0 in the rematch. Mahomes is 8-0 against Vic Fangio, 14 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 99 QBR. Let's keep going. Mahomes against the number 1 rated pass defense in the NFL. 3-0, 37 points per game, 70 completion percentage. I don't understand what more can we do. Like, you going to bet with your feelings, lose. We don't bet with our feelings. We do this for real. And when you do this for real, you understand the number 1 rule about betting sports is remove your emotions. It's no fans. I'll fade the Texans. I'll fade the Saints if they're not the right team. I'll fade the Astros, the Rockets. I just took Minnesota last night, second half against the Rockets. You know, so it's no feelings in betting sports, guys. I know you're tired of Mahomes. I know you hate his haircut. I know you don't like his wife. You know, I know the brothers on here mad he married a white girl, even though his mama white. You know, like I know. I know he don't pass all of your tests, guys. You know, I know the refs cheat for him. I know all this, bro. And at the end of the day, we got stats and data that shows us we're dealing with Tom Brady that is athletically great. See, Tom Brady was great just from the neck up, and he later on caught up with his skills offensively where he was a great thrower and really accurate and could throw the deep ball. But he came in a league where the Patriots were winning outside of him. They were winning in spite of him. The day that Patrick Mahomes stepped in Kansas City and became the starting quarterback, he was the number 1 cog in that offense. He was the guy. Before he's seen all the defenses he's seen now, 6-7 years later, he was the guy and they couldn't do anything with him. So now, just because his numbers have went down, because he's not going to try as hard during the regular season, he's going to make sure the books win some money. That's all part of being a star, bro. But when it counts, the only person he's going to ever lose to is Tom Brady in these type of games. Believe that. This guy is unbelievable. He's going to check to the right plays on the line and make sure his offensive linemen are blocking right. He's seen every defense, and then on top of that, Skee, he's healthy this year. That's the thing. We've won Super Bowls with him with one leg. He's healthy this year, man. And he's going to fade Mahomes. The only thing that he can do to beat Brady 3 times in a row, be the champion, and you're going to fade him? They had the best record in the NFL this year in the hardest conference, and you're going to fade him? You got Andy Reid, who's 30-7 off a bye. with extra time to plan, you're gonna fade them. Like, be for real, man. And Lance tried to say, okay, well, what if this game is like the Seahawks against the Broncos, where the Broncos were this high-powered offense and the Seahawks had the better team, they were a better roster. I said, no, you got the wrong game. The game that this game is going to be like is like the Seahawks and the Patriots, where the Seahawks had the better team, the all-world running back in Marshawn Lynch, like Saquon Barkley, and the Patriots were just crafty and had the main two things that matter, the quarterback and the head coach. And what happened? Who won that game? Because the Patriots still figured it out. I still remember when that game started. The Legion of Boom were unstoppable. The first drive, the Patriots went right down the field. I was like, damn, what's going on? So, bro, it's levels to this stuff, man. It's levels. If you want to lose your money because you just rooting against Mahomes, go ahead. Good luck.
Hey, I'm gonna be ready to talk some shit to everybody who want to go do it too. Just know that.
Skee, they told me to call back on Monday because I told them they're gonna be air punching. I'm like, y'all gonna be air punching on Sunday.
Hey, they
Because
gonna
you're
be just
gonna be
like
like,
old boy.
what was I thinking about? I can hear now. What was I thinking about? What was I thinking? I'm so
Hey, it's like,
smart. Skee, I'm so
yeah,
smart.
you know, the first time Mahomes losing, they're like, I'm gonna bet on him this time. I'm gonna bet against him.
Yes,
I was the one.
sooner or later he's gonna lose. I just lost the last 4 times I faded him, but I'm gonna try again. Sooner or later it's
The
gonna
wheel keep
work.
putting black, but I'm gonna put red this time.
Bro, if y'all
Hey.
want to bet the Eagles, give out your cash app, Skee, and I'm gonna give out mine. If you guys want to bet the Eagles, you could just donate to the shows, man, and we're gonna get more better shows to you guys. We get some new equipment for the shows or something, man. Don't do it, man. Lose with the best, guys. If you're gonna bet sports, always lose with the best. If you're gonna lose, at least if you lose to Mahomes, you could just be like, oh man, well, they didn't come to play, but I won so much money with them. But boy, if you bet on Jalen Hurts
You gonna be feeling so
and come out
bad
there and
after the
lose to
game.
Mahomes,
Your
you gonna
whole
be so
everything will be
mad at
ruined.
yourself. What was I doing? What was I thinking? That's all you go. I knew they were gonna cheat for him.
And still bet against them.
Yeah. So, chat, we got love for you guys. We rock with y'all. Y'all good people. Everybody in here is better. So, if you have your own opinion, we're not, trying to sway you. But Skee and I and all my guys on my squad at the Wager World, we all riding with the Chiefs, man. We don't believe in betting on hope and on luck. We believe on betting on facts, and the facts is this: Kansas City's been the best team all year. It's just people don't want to give them their props, bro. So why would you fade them in the Super Bowl? And they've had Super Bowl experience and won the Super Bowl several times before, 3 times already under Patrick Mahomes and been to 4. Just because you like the Eagles, just because you think Jalen Hurts is cool. Like, I don't know.
About money over feelings, man. And the money, it's been consistent, but on one side here. And I'm gonna continue to be on that side again in this game. So good stuff on all this. My guy Bryce, my bad, my guy Bryce. He says, couldn't live with myself all season knowing I faded my home last game of the year. That's how that's gonna be,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Don't
I
be that
don't.
person.
But I'm like I said, it's people money. So do what you want to do. But us as professionals who do this every day, I'm betting on Mahomes, man. It was never a thought in my mind. The only way I would have even considered maybe the Eagles if the market was crazy, like too much, like 90% of the money was on the Chiefs, but it's not even close, man. It's like everyone wants them to win, lose so bad. And like I said, just a perfect storm for us, Skee, because all the hate on Mahomes, all of the being tired of the dynasty, they hate Kelsey, they hate Taylor Swift, they had everything. So all that hate's gonna turn to green for us because we know how this works. They're gonna play the public with the fact that you're betting in your emotions and you're betting in your feelings instead of betting football. It's nothing about this game that should tell you that I'm taking the Eagles. I just don't see it, man.
Are we lining up on this game? A lot of good stuff to take away from this show. We'll move it on over to best bets. And I know you usually like to just do a recap or something like that, but is there anything you would like to promote before you do?
Yeah, man, the wagingworld.com. Skee is up live right now, man. It just went live.
There you
We
go.
still adding some more merch to it. You see right here, this is the sunshine version of the just the logo from the show, and then we still had a live from some of the stuff as well too, which is kind of like the lifestyle stuff and for like golfing and things like that, man. So you guys check out www.thewageringworld.com. I'm also setting up on there where you guys can purchase picks from me daily as well. So look forward to talking to you guys and interacting more with you on the website, and of course, always still come to the Wagering World. I appreciate everyone who came out the chat that was rocking with my brother Skee, and now also watches the Wagering World. Man, we really appreciate that, man, because you guys are the type of guys that we want and ladies watching the Wagering World, because we already know if you came from Skee's chat, you're a real better, you're a calm person. You see the long, picture. You're not one of these guys out here that's tripping who doesn't understand betting sports, and that's what we like in the way of the world. I think is just trying to be iron that sharpens iron and making guys who already bet sharper betters. That's all. So we appreciate everyone who came from Profit Picks over to the Wagering World this season and rocked with us, man. And we're going to continue winning. Me and Skee going to come back to the college basketball. But as far as in free plays for this one, my Super Bowl plays that I already put in, locked in, and bet are Saquon Barkley to go under on his rushing yards. 114 is what I got. It's down to 112, but you can still find a 113.5 out there. As I told you, Spagnolia has never given up 100 rushing yards to any running back in all of his years as being the DC at Kansas City, and I don't think that that's going to change this year. Another one, we're going with Patrick Mahomes to have over 29.5 yards rushing. You should catch that now, because I'm sure it's going to go up to 30, because people are pretty hip on that prop that Mahomes tucks it. I also played Mahomes to score a touchdown, anytime touchdown, just because the value. It was plus 460, so I couldn't pass that one up. Mahomes to win the MVP at plus 105. We saw against the Eagles, for instance, the kid that was the linebacker had 2 interceptions for them, ran one back for a touchdown, and still didn't win the MVP. It's hard for Kansas City to win and the MVP not to go to Patrick Mahomes. So plus 105 to me is a layup. I think we'll see another commercial with him talking about he's going to Disney World. So, no, excuse me, Disneyland. They go to Disneyland, right, for the Super Bowl. I don't think they go to Disney World. I think Disneyland in LA. So he'll be going to Disneyland on that one. And then, of course, you guys know I want the Chiefs for the game, bro. You're rather going to find the Chiefs in this spot. They won 29 straight one-score games, man. And the spread is only one. So I'm taking the Chiefs. I have no doubt that I think that they're going to get this done. Both Andy Reid and Mahomes have been undefeated against Vic Fangio. Neither one of them have ever lost to Vic Fangio, man. So unless Vic Fangio comes up with a brand new scheme that we haven't seen before and pulls out a miracle and becomes that Tampa Bay Bucks team that we saw Todd Bowles implement against a younger Mahomes at the time who didn't understand the game as much, then that's the only way I can see the Eagles winning. I like the Chiefs a lot. And if you guys want to play some tennis as well, I'm playing Belinda Bencic to win out of what's she playing at? Abu Dhabi. She's playing at Abu Dhabi. It's a final tomorrow. Belinda Bencic to beat Ashlyn Kruger. That's just a throw in.
A lot of good stuff from my guy 5 Star. We appreciate you sharing. And yeah, hopefully, I know we will be though. On Monday we'll both be smiling, cashing a lot of or cashed a lot of tickets. For my best bet for the show, I mean, I'm gonna go with the shortest touchdown under 1.5 yards, just because it's the best bet I make every single year, really. And you can see it multiple different ways in this game. It can happen just regularly through the game. If they make it down there, they're gonna push for the Eagles. But they're saying the refs help KC, right? We're gonna see a flag in the end zone probably, and they're gonna punch it in. Like, it's a lot of ways to get that shortest touchdown. So that's my best bet for the show. And last thing I'm gonna say is do the right thing, man. Do the right thing in the game
Yeah.
for the winner. That's it. So 5 Star, appreciate you taking the time to come break this down with us. You shared a lot of good stuff. We appreciate it. For the chat, a lot of great people there. If you would like to hear a little bit more about the NBA card for today, I'll be on right after this with Wham, Dutch, and Babano. And I'll see you guys over there.